You know what? Like I said, this is the Lion season, and the Cowboys pretty much stated that they like two of these offensive linemen that's around the globe here. And this is Tyler Booker. I think that he's a phenomenal offensive lineman, and I think that he could help out in so many ways. But for the Cowboys to come out and say, hey, man, let's bring him in. We really like him, as well as the other guy, Simmons. This will also play into the mindset of where the Cowboys is going to go with this particular draft. We have a lot of holes. We have a lot of needs. And when I'm saying that this is a situation and scenario that we can look back on and say, how many offensive linemen do we really need to encounter for the Dallas Cowboys? I can argue the fact that the Cowboys should pass up on these offensive linemen due to the history, the historical data that goes into this details of who the Cowboys pretty much are as it relates to drafting O-line for your mind. Now, granted, when you have a no identity as it relates to this team and as it relates to when we start first drafting offensive linemen, we can argue that that was the best move that Jason Garrett made, right? Was going to get those offensive linemen. Even with that, we didn't see like the birth of our running backs doing some explosive stuff until like it was all said and done. We only had one good year from DeMarco Murray. And that was 2014 when we decided to run the ball. Remember, you got to understand the history so you won't repeat yourself, right? And then in 2016, what they did ultimately, 15 was the best year our offensive line had, by the way, on the run. And that's a whole nother conversation. But 2016, we got a generational talent type of running back who the NFL kind of sullied and denigrated in 2017. But neither here nor there. Zeke was drafted for Tony Romo, not Dak Prescott, right? So when we start looking at everything as it relates to this Cowboys team, right, in 2016, run the ball, that was really helped this team out tremendously. Then everybody, mama, uncle, cousin was still talking about the Cowboys, the greatest O-line that ever existed, right? And we kept that type of identity with the Cowboys. But in actuality, the last time that we were successful as it relates to health with our offensive line was 2015. Now, fast forwarding to now, we do have a hole with Zach Martin is at, but I think that what we need to look at with all of this is just sit back. Mike McCarthy never been known for a running type of coach, right? And those 4.5 years, 5 years basically with Mike McCarthy was a waste of time, because he was like the Jason Garrett 2.0, right? And it was vanilla and bland, and we didn't have a plan as it relates to run game. Where Shotty is cut from a different cloth, and he brought in Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, who they do look at strategy, scheme, schematics, however you want to look at it, as it relates to running the ball, and we're going to see better, because at the end of the day, when you're talking about O-line for your mind, it's primarily scheme. You got to have a scheme put into place. Doesn't matter if we have 5 Larry Allens, right? If you don't have a precise scheme, then things will not work out right with this team. Now, my guy, when you look at Terrence Steele, he's been what's on bottom of most people's feet, because if you look at his scouting report, he's never been that elite at pass pro.